Episode 50 now, halfway to 100. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Everybody who has been tuning in this far, we definitely appreciate it. Please like and comment all that stuff. Get us in the algorithm. We've been pretty stagnant since the off season. 100, 200, 300 subscribers here or there. We appreciate everybody we get, but we kind of want to blow up. So, like, dislike. You hate what we said, you like what we said, comment. Um, but coming off of another miserable Bears loss, I don't know if I've ever felt this depressed as a Bears fan. This stretch of 3 years where the highest of the highs where it's like, oh, we draft Justin Fields. You know what I mean? Finally, we get somebody who's decent. And just
Do you know
nothing's
why
changed.
you're so depressed?
No.
It's because the season's over and you know deep down inside that Justin Fields quarterbacking is over for the Chicago Bears.
I honestly I don't know.
Deep
It,
down
it
inside
it
you know.
feels it feel like I said, just how everything's playing out. I mean, unless he goes crazy in these next 3 games, like I've said before, I think the Packers game is like a make or break one. If he goes out and falls flat in his face against the Packers, there's no way they bring him back. Um, I said that a couple weeks ago. I think that is the most important game. I didn't think we were still a long shot to make the playoffs, but I thought that honestly, we both like the Browns game. We thought they might lose anyway. I just didn't think it was going to be in that fashion. Like Fields, the offense, Getsy. I don't want to say start with Fields because I don't think it's Fields does have his problems, but last week was the worst O lines blocked all year. Damn, since like the first few weeks when they were all banged up. Miles Garrett, obviously. I mean, no harm to Braxton Jones, but he was treating him like a kid out there. Kind of that's one of the things that makes me think that it's like we just have, I won't say so many needs, but so a couple glaring issues that I just don't know if you bring some rookie in, it's gonna help it at all. Unless you're telling me you're also gonna get the best two free agents and hit on every other draft pick you take, like then yeah, I guess ideally it could work out. But
I
we
don't
talk.
think I don't think the drop off is nearly as much as you and a lot of other fans make it out to be. I really don't. Um, I'm not saying that any of one of these guys is guaranteed to come in and be better than Fields, but by all intents and purposes, by all the people that have jobs as scouts and front office people and everything else like that, if Justin Fields was coming out in this draft out of college, he'd be quarterback three. That's
I haven't seen anything like that. And
that.
either way,
Oh yeah,
he was
definitely.
quarterback. Zach Wilson was Trey Lance and Zach Wilson were quarterback too over Purdy and fucking, or not over Purdy. Was it Purdy? Yeah, Purdy was in that draft, right? No, he was the next one. But like, that's just like this weird eye test
Oh, it's a
that,
crapshoot. Don't
yeah,
get me
it's a
wrong.
crapshoot. So
And don't
again,
get me wrong, but I don't think the drop off is nearly as bad as what you and a lot of others make it out to be if we have a rookie quarterback. Because here's the thing, you're right. We have holes on this roster, but overall, with the addition of a couple of pieces in the offseason, the defense, regardless of who's going to be the coach next year, it's not like oh man, we got rid of Matt Eberflus, we're going to fall apart. The defense is a playoff caliber defense as it is right now. You add a
as a
couple of
second
pieces to
half of the
that,
season, though,
you add a couple pieces ever since they got Montez Sweat. It's been
yeah,
a playoff caliber defense. And regardless of who the coach is, it's going to stay that way. You add a couple of pieces, you add another defensive end, you're going to get rid of Eddie Jackson, so you're going to need another safety. You need to re-sign Jalen Johnson, and you're pretty much good to go on defense. Like I said, a couple of additions, a couple of pieces. On offense, you have a number one wide receiver in DJ Moore. You have a pretty decent offensive line with the exception of center. And you have a couple of good running backs. One's not going to be here next year. I really don't think Khalil Herbert should be here next year either. You're going to need a number two wide receiver. So you're going to need another wide out because Darnell Mooney's not it. And you just insert rookie quarterback here. And it can't be any worse than what Fields is doing in terms of wins and losses. It may not look pretty at times. There's going to be
I
growing
don't
pains,
know if that's
but
true. I don't. I mean, it
it's
could be worse.
definitely true. You can't have
I
a
don't agree. I agree that the drop off isn't crazy. I think it's more of a chemistry thing. No matter who the rookie is, basically just like they've been chirping this, resetting the clock because I don't care who the rookie quarterback is. he's going to come in and he's going to hold the ball too long, not be able to read the defenses right, take bad sacks, and you know what I mean. Like whatever rookie we get is going to do that, and that's what people are complaining about Justin. And you're right, the drop off. Let's say he's slightly better than Justin or slightly worse. That's probably ideally that's what I would imagine, just because. But I just think getting a new quarterback is throwing your season away. Rookies rarely take their team to the playoffs. And like I said, I truly feel that like it'd be like starting over to everyone again. It'll be most likely a new coach, new quarterback, and it's probably a new bunch of whole other stuff. And it's like that makes me feel like next season is a throwaway as well. And
When
I don't
we
want to throw one more
when
season
this
away.
whole thing started, right? The rebuild. Last year was year one because he was cutting cap and everything else like that. How many years did we say this was going to take?
That's what. Well, that's my problem
This
with all
was
this too. Is like we're in the middle of the rebuild, and they're like, "All right, Justin's got to go," even
well.
though
See,
we're in the midst of it. Like,
sometimes a rebuild doesn't necessarily mean you're interchanging pieces in a rebuild anyway. But
yeah,
this was always a 3 to 5 year rebuild. It
well, I
was
agree.
to build a sustainable winning team long term. This was always going to take 3 to 5 years. So that rookie, and I get your point, but what I'm saying is Justin Fields now is in year three. If and if we draft a quarterback in this draft and he's having the same issues in year three that Justin Fields is having in year three, we'll have this discussion again 3 years from
But
now.
what I'm saying is like, as Bears fans, we've been stuck in this cycle literally our entire life.
We've never had a number one overall pick and drafted a quarterback. This is not something we are.
Yeah,
This is something we
but
have
that doesn't mean
never
anything
seen
because number
as
one
Bears
picks
fans.
bust at a higher rate than any
Sure,
other pick.
absolutely.
So it's like
I agree,
that
but
doesn't
the
mean
talent.
that's what I'm saying. That gives me more cause for concern. I agree with a lot of you said. I mean, almost all of it. It is 3 to 5 years, and we're trying to build a winning culture. I think I saw a funny thing today. Let me wrote it down in my notes. The Bears, since the year 2000, only what was it 5 first-round picks have signed a second contract with the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculous, and like that's a part of the culture. We need to know, like, we need to stop getting players and throwing them away. Like the Packers build from within.
That's just bad drafting, though.
But that bad drafting, bad developing. It's not even bad drafting. Who cares? You draft a guy. He's
And
tall.
and
He's fast.
they traded 5 or 6 of those first round picks away. 3 of them for Cutler, 2 of them for Mack. Those numbers are skewed a little bit,
A little
but
bit,
it's
but
also
there's a
bad
lot of guys.
drafting.
But
It's
what
just
I'm
bad
saying is like
drafting.
I would like to see the second round picks too. I bet you're not keeping a lot of those guys either, or the third. Like we don't
We've definitely given second contracts to more second round picks than we
the
have
first
first.
round picks
That I
probably.
could
But what I'm saying
tell
is
you.
like I agree it's bad drafting, but it's also bad player development and a lack of consistency. It's like we just get these guys and throw them away, and the successful teams don't really do that. The successful teams aren't drafting a new quarterback every 3 years. They're not like they build their team up really good and then they pluck Jalen Hurts in there. What I think is going to happen, or what I think should happen, is they draft somebody in the second or third round, kind of like Jalen Hurts when they had Carson Wentz or whatever. You know what I mean? Carson Wentz was the top pick. He was on the decline. They kind of let him ride it out, and then they replaced him. I want to do something like that, where like I'm not saying don't get a quarterback. I'm just saying like we need too many things, and there's some good, I think, truly generational talent. I obviously don't see it with Caleb. He's not big. He's not tall. He doesn't have a laser arm. He's not fast. Like I don't see the generational. But Joe Alt, I think is very good. Would be. I think he's way better than Darnell Wright, and he'd be plug-ins left tackle. Marvin Harrison Jr. I think is also another generational talent. Neighbors, I think, is really
Joe
good.
Walt's not even the best tackle in the class.
That's what I know. That other kid's flashy. He's okay, but that's because he's bigger and faster and blacker. If we want to, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about the Rashard Mendenhall tweet a little bit later. But what I'm saying is like, I mean, that guy too. He's a generational talent. I just think in my head, and I hate Notre Dame. I just think Joe Alt is like plug in 15-year, like as long as he doesn't blow his knee out, like premier left tackle in the
So how
NFL.
about this? Hold on. How about this? Right. So let's just say the Bears take they trade down or whatever. They select Marvin Harrison Jr. Then with their second first round pick, they snag like Malik Neighbors. You get 2 wide receivers in
I
this
wouldn't
draft,
like that.
top
I don't
10.
know. I mean, we
That
kind of
would
do
be
need 2 wide receivers. I think
That would be
I,
disgusting.
I like Tyler Scott. If we're gonna get two, I would rather get Brock Bowers and Harrison because Brock Bowers really he plays tight end, but if you watch Georgia game, he's like their slot receiver.
Yes, 100%. He's more
Um,
he's more of a bigger bodied
receiver,
slot receiver.
he's a receiver. If we were gonna get two, I'd rather get that. I just think that the guy, the locker room can sense it. And that's why this week, all these guys, different guys on the team, even coaches, players on other team are coming out and saying good things about Justin Fields. And obviously, you take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, nobody's going to say anything bad about the quarterback, obviously. But you don't have to say anything. I don't remember people coming out and fucking being like, Mitch is the guy. He's the franchise quarterback. And you know what I mean? Like, nobody was coming out saying that for Trubisky. Like, they were rallying. They were doing the rah-rah, he's our teammate thing. I just think it might cause some friction in the locker room to just be we got rid of Roquan. He was our like our all pro talent, all generational talent. Got rid of him. It's like everybody's just thinking, oh, they're just gonna get rid of us too. Like
Here's the thing, right? I do not envy Ryan Poles' position. Ryan Poles
it's
right
tough.
now, he either one of three things is going to happen. One of four things, really. He keeps Justin Fields. He trades that number one overall pick. Caleb Williams or Drake May turn out to be the next Patrick Mahomes. Justin Fields fails. He gets fired. He trades Justin Fields and drafts one of those two guys. Justin Fields goes on to become an all-pro. His quarterback he drafts is a bust. He gets fired. he trades Justin Fields, drafts a quarterback. Both quarterbacks bust.
He's fired.
He trades Justin Fields. The only win is if he drafts this quarterback, trades Justin Fields, and both of them happen to succeed in their
I mean, that's not a win for him. I think if Justin Fields goes somewhere else to succeed, that's bad for him because that means we could have traded that pick for a whole bunch of shit. You weren't doing your job right.
I don't think it's necessarily bad because he didn't draft him.
Well, he hired the coaches who couldn't make Justin Fields good.
Let's be honest, he did not make that hire. That was we talked about this before. This
I agree.
Was a coaching.
Maybe.
This was a Bill Polian and McCaskey. No, but Getsy was a Matt Eberflus hire. But Matt Eberflus was hired, technically by Ryan Poles, but that was from a list of 3 coaching candidates that were handed to him by Bill Polian, who was their special advisor for the coaching search.
Yeah, I remember.
And McCaskey. This was not a Ryan Poles hire. Believe me when I tell you, Ryan Poles, his foot.
But this is what I don't get. Why does Ryan Poles get an excuse, but Justin Fields doesn't get an excuse? To be like, well, Justin Fields got settled with Getsy. That wasn't his choice. The players that are around him weren't his choice.
Players don't get a choice. They don't get the choice on who's their coach.
But you're saying neither did Ryan Poles. And it's like, that's an excuse for him now.
No, that's completely different. A player's a player. He's building a roster.
But what I'm saying is like, he has to be accountable for the people is he accountable for the job that he's doing? The team isn't doing good. He drafted all these players. He hired all these coaches, and the team isn't doing good. Is that his fault?
Is it an indictment on Ryan Poles?
Yes. Is it an indictment on him?
I would say so. Absolutely.
Exactly. That's all. That's fine.
But the standards are different. This is
he's getting way more. The quarterback that gets way less leeway.
This is because players always get less leeway than front office people. Always. Because one, he didn't draft Justin Fields. He's in charge of building a team and a roster. He already said this thing wasn't going to get turned over overnight.
Yeah.
Like, he gets
any GM, though, is going to get saddled with players they didn't draft. No guy's coming in and going to flip the whole 53 roster.
And that's why he got rid of, 90% of the roster that he inherited?
And I'm like, I don't like, in hindsight, was it the best move? I don't know. Like I said, looking back, T.J. Edwards and Edmonds are fine. I just think Roquan's better. And
sure, Roquan's better than them individually, but together, you're paying them.
I think Roquan and Sanborn would have made just as much as T.J. Edwards and Edmonds, and they'd be just as good. And we would have kept our All-Pro guy. We would have shown some loyalty. And
but you can't pay $20+ million.
You can if you're playing Jack Sanborn. Nothing.
No,
you paid the $20 million to two guys.
That's how you turn into Ryan Pace, and you get bad contracts.
But certain people, like the best players in the league get these contracts. That's just what it is. Like try like the
If
fucking cheap.
Roquan's not even having that good of
He's
a
leading the
year.
best team, the defense in the league, isn't he? Second best defense in the league.
He's the captain, but
Yeah.
if you take a look at the stats, TJ Edwards and Terrell Edmonds both have him beat in every statistical category.
But I'm sure, but what I'm
And
saying is like that again. I just it doesn't fall in line. Like you gotta. I just what I see is a vicious cycle of the Bears not sticking to the guys that are our guys. We keep thinking the answer to all our prayers is some magical player that is outside our organization. When it's like the virus is within. We need to fix our shitty culture and our shitty player development, our shitty coaching. Like it doesn't matter who we go get. It's gonna be the same outcome. No rational Bears fan thinks if we would have took Patrick Mahomes instead of fucking Mr. Trubisky, we'd be the Chiefs and they'd be the Bears. Like that wouldn't have happened. Like that,
no,
we all know that wouldn't have happened. Like so, I just think like this whole thing, like oh, we're gonna get Caleb Williams and he's gonna solve our problems, is probably not gonna happen. Is what I'm saying. Maybe he is. Maybe he is Joe Burrow. Like, but we saw it in Joe Burrow. Like he was not only shattering
it's not with
numbers.
this coaching staff. I can tell you that right now.
I hope so. Yeah. Like, and again, to close it out, I'm not absolving Justin. He has poor play, but as a younger guy, I just think the clock sped up. They're like, oh, it's really his second year to me personally. The first year was a throwaway. He was just like he was 80 Dalton's backup. Then he came in for a couple games. Then he got hurt. Um, and even last year was they literally stripped the entire roster, gave him the ball, and said, "Hey kid, go play backyard football and win us all these games." You know what I mean? And don't tear your ACL. And they ran him into the ground. And it's like I just feel like he hasn't got a fair shake, and we're just gonna kick him to the curb. What if he's good next year? What if you know what I mean? That was the year you know what I mean? The switch hit. Like then we're starting over with the rookie, more than likely. Just historically, rookies we're not going to playoffs. Now we're 3 years in a row not in the playoffs. Um, Pace has got it. I mean, if or not Pace, Poles. If let's say we draft Caleb Williams and we suck again, and Caleb Williams suck, Poles getting fired.
Oh yeah, no
So
doubt.
it's like, what's the difference if Justin Fields sucks? You get fired to either. Then like, what's the difference? If one of these, no matter who the quarterback is, if it's Caleb Williams or Justin Fields, next year if they're terrible and we're terrible, Poles is fired. So it does like that's where it's like I don't know. I'd rather saddle my or hitch my saddle to the guy in my locker room that my guys want to ride for. And I'm not saying don't get a quarterback. Honestly, I get somebody in the second or third, and you know what I mean. Tell Justin, you know what the vibes are. Like you play, you've been out here. We're getting this guy just in case because we're not picking up your fucking 5th-year option if you play bad again. And and not to harp on it too much, I don't think he played that poorly in the Browns game. Tunyon catches that touchdown pass, and he's you know what I mean. He's got a decent game going. Well, you know what I mean. I won't as much as Darnell Mooney should have caught that Hail Mary. As I've sat with it, you know what I mean. It's a Hail Mary. It's kind of hard to be like you should have caught that ball, even though he should have. More importantly, he should have made that fucking block on 4th and 1. Or Getsy shouldn't be asking him to make that block. Why is the tight end not out there then? But it's like on that play specifically, Tyler Scott goes in motion, blocks Miles. He's supposed to be blocking Miles Garrett, and then Mooney's supposed to be blocking the outside linebacker. And it's like these are the bonehead shit that it's like Justin Fields gets blamed for. And then they're like, oh, Mooney was or oh fucking uh DJ Moore was breaking open. I'm pretty sure the play call was Justin, you fucking run for that 1 yard.
It
And
was
there's
an
an
option
option.
play.
Yeah, I'm sure if there's option. What I'm saying if it's like nobody's in between you and DJ throw it, but you run for that thing. You know what I mean? That's just how those plays go. Like, so maybe he could have made the play. And the guy like tripped him out of nowhere. Like he probably thought he was about to get the first down. He never even saw him. But that's just poor execution by the players. And I said it to you the day. I just think Mooney's done. He's been going through the motions all year. I think he was. Uh, I think he thought he was going to have a huge year, a breakout year. He needed to have one because he wanted to get paid, and halfway through the year realized that wasn't going to happen, and now he's going to get, you know what I mean, $4 million a year instead of 11 to 15, and he's not blocking. These guys like the wide receivers in general aren't blocking. The run game was dead. I mean, I know the Browns are good, but we got
The
Justin Fields.
Browns have one of the worst run defenses in the league, which I don't understand. And I texted this to you. I said, why are we throwing the ball 40 times a game against the best pass defense in the league, and we only have 8 carries in the first half against a a bottom 10 run defense. I
Because
just
Getsy's terrible. The run plays, like I said, there's no, I posted this in our one of the groups, man. It says he lacks any creativity. It looks like he's being creative, but like I said to you, that motion, it was like misdirection motion, Justin Fields pitch sweep to the running back. They did that like 5 times, and literally Miles Garrett or the other defensive end fucking tackle him in the backfield for a 3 yard loss every single time. Like I don't know if they just got the book out, but Getsy is terrible. And I don't know. This is where it's like Ryan Poles, Eberflus. Why are they not snatching the play calling duties away from him and giving somebody else a shot? Like I just like who's watching the tape and be like, oh, that was a good play. Like you said, a fucking idiot knows why are we passing 44 times against the fucking Browns, and we were never losing the game. We were never losing the game, and we were passing 44 fucking times. And it's like the pressure rate was like 70 or 80%. Braxton Jones is getting killed. The interior O line, like usual, getting cooked, especially after Tevin Jenkins got hurt.
yeah, once Tevin Jenkins went out, it
It's
was
a free rush to
abysmal.
Justin. It's like this is where Getsy needs to run the fucking ball, even if it's Justin. And it's like, and again, like we're going to, like you said, deep down, it's like we know, like I know Justin's going to pay the price for their inadequacies. Has he played perfect? Obviously not. Nobody on the Bears in general has.
DJ
Or
Moore's played pretty perfect.
pretty good. I mean, yeah, he was hurt in this game. I mean, he was limping around out there. And Montez Sweat's been playing great, but I'm just saying, like, Justin's still youngish, and it's like he's gonna you watch the Eagles tape. Jalen Hurts misses throws all the time. He did the same thing that we complain about Justin Fields that does to lose the game. He passed up on 2 wide open people to throw a interception to lose them the game in the fourth quarter. Um, but I think they accentuate what he's good at, and they make Jalen Hurts look good. And we've gotten away from that. Like we don't. Justin Fields doesn't run the ball anymore at all. I didn't. I don't want to. I didn't want them to stop running. I just wanted them to stop running him so much. Like he doesn't need 20 carries a game. He needs like 10 to 12. What they do
Yeah,
with
20's a
Lamar
little
now.
too much.
Yeah, and it's like they ran him that 20 the first game he was back, and then ever since then, it's like he hasn't ran at all anymore.
Well, now that the season's officially over, we're really not playing for anything besides that Packers game. The Arizona game coming up here really doesn't mean all that much. You
I
still
still
want
think
to, I
Justin's
mean,
auditioning. I think if
but
he has
I
breakaway
I
games, I
think
think he might be
I
okay.
personally either way, either way of the spectrum, I don't care which way it is. Ryan Poles, in my opinion, has his mind made up. He's either gonna drag nothing Justin does in these 3 weeks, positive or negative, I think is going to change the narrative for Ryan Poles. I think he already has his decision made up. We won't know it until draft night comes on and says the
No,
Chicago
we'll
Bears.
know it before then because they're going to trade Justin Fields.
I I don't think they will until draft night. I really don't. I think Ryan Poles is going to hold these cards to his chest. It's not going to be like last year where everybody knew they were trading out of the number 1 pick, because he's either going to keep that and wait to draft night to trade Justin Fields just in case maybe he gets an offer for the number 1 overall pick that just he can't turn down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's
And
gonna
honestly,
do
I
something.
think that might happen, is what I'm saying. And that too, where it's like, if we find out that the Raiders offered 4 first round picks, a second, and Max Crosby for like, you know what I mean, for you pick number 1 and some other bullshit, it's like I would be fucking livid. Like, so maybe that's what I really think is gonna happen. I think a lot of people are high on Caleb, and I think a lot of teams need a quarterback way more than we do.
Well, and that's the
Um,
thing too is I texted you earlier and I said, I put this out there because we talked about it a little bit last week. If John Harbaugh is not available, you don't want to go the offensive coordinator route or the defensive coordinator route with a first-time play caller. What if Mike Tomlin becomes available?
I like Mike Tomlin, and honestly, I think Mike Tomlin will keep Justin Fields. I think he's a good coach. I don't, for whatever reason, he wins. I
There's a
don't. Wouldn't we have to
disconnect.
trade from? Do we have?
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
We would, unless there's
yeah,
a parting of the ways, a
yeah,
mutual parting on their part. There just seems like there's a disconnect in Pittsburgh's locker room.
yeah. This year,
You know what I'm saying? It's not just this year, it was last year too, a little bit. They found ways to win, but it just seems like now it's kind of, especially since he's getting close to his first season not being over 500 or at 500 and above, because they're gonna lose out. They're
Yeah.
terrible. But there seems like a huge genuine disconnect between Mike Tomlin and that locker room. And if it's more than one or two players, then you're gonna have to bring in somebody else to kind of
I don't
you know
want
what
to
I'm
trade. We
saying? You're
talked
not
about it
gonna get rid of
before.
two, three,
I
four
don't want to
stars.
trade for him. I'm
Yeah,
not
you would
big
have
on
to.
trading for coaches.
You would have to.
But you said they might mutually part ways. So who
Yeah,
knows?
might. But if
If it was
Pittsburgh
like a
knows,
third, maybe I'd do it.
well,
But
no, you're gonna at least it's gonna at least be a two because that's what Denver gave up for Sean Payton. It's gonna at least be a second round pick.
I guess that's true. And Tomlin, in my opinion, is better than Sean Payton. And Ben Johnson came out today and said he wants 15 million.
That's what somebody from Carolina said. And if I was Ben Johnson, I would say that shit too.
Yeah,
For
but I mean,
like
it's
that Carolina job, I do not envy anybody that has to take the Carolina job or the GM that's got to take the fucking Chargers job. That Chargers job is going to be they're $46 million over the cap today. If the season ended today, they're 46 million over the cap for next
well.
year.
That what does that mean? When they got to get rid of Mac,
They
get
got to
rid
get
of
rid of Mac, Bosa, Keenan Allen, Derwin James. They're gonna have, and here's the thing: even if they ate all that money, that only saves them $10 million next year. That's how
well, we
fucked.
better be getting fucking Bosa or Khalil Mack back or something like.
Well, I see. Here's the thing, right? So you're gonna have to bite the bullet. You're gonna have to bite the bullet on somebody. If you offer them a fourth or fifth round pick, obviously you're not gonna give them what they gave you for Khalil Mack. But if you give them a fourth or a fifth round pick for a 32-year-old Khalil Mack, and because you as the Bears, you have the salary cap, why wouldn't you?
This is what I want
I
to
mean,
see. He didn't do anything. Poles didn't do anything last free agency. I won't say anything, but nothing big. Tremaine Edmonds, T.J. Edwards, they panned out. T.J. Edwards has been great. Tremaine Edmonds is not too much of a drop off from Roquan. As much as I said I
Nate
wanted to keep
Davis is a
Roquan.
solid guard. He's
Yeah,
not a
he's like I think he's
superstar,
a
but
swing. I think he's a bottom of the barrel starter and a
he's
swing guard.
serviceable.
Yes. But nothing flashy. DeMarcus Walker is just a guy. He's a rotational DN who can come in sometimes. I really honestly thought we should have got like Hargraves or McGlinchey or somebody like that. Um,
McGlinchey's terrible.
yeah, but he might be. I don't. Again, I don't know. People are better in different places. Because he was good on the 49ers. I mean, but there was other tackles. I think James or not
Yeah,
James.
but Darnell Wright
Darnell
is
Wright is
that
good.
man.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's bad. I mean, we still could have drafted Darnell Wright. We would have two tackles. Maybe Braxton Jones could play guard. I don't think Braxton Jones is bad. I just think some of the really good DNs kick his ass.
Well,
They beat him.
this is also year two for him. He's gonna
Yeah,
learn.
yeah.
You
But
know,
what I'm yeah. So
you gotta have
true.
those growing pains.
Yeah. That's why I don't want to necessarily get rid of him. But like I said, maybe you move to guard, play guard for a little while, and you go back and once you get your shit together.
I mean, technically, Tevin Jenkins was drafted as a tackle.
Yeah. And Braxton Jones smaller than him, in my opinion. Like Tevin's a good ass guard too. Yeah, it sucks
If
for him to be
Tevin
out.
can stay healthy, he would be a top three guard in this league, easy.
Yeah.
He's got to stay healthy though.
And
And let me
the
ask
O
you a
line in
question.
general.
Well, yeah, actually, I'll get to my question here in a little bit because I have something to do with your AFC South. Um, but we're kind of taking a look at some other things here too. Going on to the off season a little bit. Like I said, there's still 3 weeks left this season, but it's never too early to start speculating a little bit.
I mean, yeah, it sucks for us
Obviously,
already.
obviously, we feel like Matt Eberflus is gone. At least I do, in my opinion. I think he's done. I think the game in Cleveland, it was fun while it lasted. The hope that we had, but as a head coach, you cannot have three historical losses in one season. You just can't. And that's exactly what's happened. The Denver Broncos collapse, the Detroit Lions collapse, and now the Cleveland Browns collapse. You're up 10 points, 10 plus points in each one of those games with a +2 turnover ratio, and you still lose the fucking game. And that's just that. That's
Honestly, and I don't think it was. I
oh,
mean, the Detroit game, I kind of think was Eberflus, just because he was just being really like he just let them march up and down the field on us with like no time. Like if we could have got like held them to, you know what I mean, made them get a couple first downs, we would have been okay. Um, I really think it's Getsy, and this is where
but
I
that's
want
also
Poles
that's
and Eberflus accountable. Poles is Eberflus's boss. He needs to be calling down there and saying, Take the fucking play caller. You don't have to do what the fucking Eagles did. Their defensive coordinator was supposed to be a fucking candidate for all these head coaching jobs coming up this year, and
Who's
he
Sean
sucked.
Desai?
Yeah, people were talking about him. Whatever. I mean, before the year started and shit like that. Obviously not now. But they took it from. Oh, you know what I mean? They quietly tried to take it from him, gave it to somebody else. Like it frustrates me when Eberflus gets up on the stand and he's talking about players executing. And I agree, the players need to execute. I will always say that players play and coaches coach. But if you're calling a fucking screen on 3rd and 17 and we don't get the first down, is that poor player execution? Like I guess in theory every play is drawn up to score a touchdown, but that's not poor player execution. That's idiotic play calling. And it's like I don't know if the players aren't buying into it. I don't know if and again, some quarterbacks like different route combos. They like doing different stuff. I don't know if he's not doing what. To me, it feels like he's still trying to run the Aaron Rodgers off outside of the read option. Every 4 weeks, he gets read option happy, and Justin runs it 20 times. But outside of that, I feel like he's trying to run the Aaron Rodgers, stand in the pocket, throw it offense. And we need to be doing something more creative. Like, why don't we have a play like the tush push and we get on every fucking 4th and 1? We just have he has lax creativity. He's just like, oh, just like, and then people are like, oh, just missing the reads and things like that. And yes, there's some plays out there left on the field, but there's plenty of times where he makes a fucking good throw and the guy's not there and they mess up too. I think Getsy's just not a good play caller, not necessarily for Justin Fields. I just don't think he wanted to change his philosophy, and I don't understand why they would hire a guy who doesn't like fuck with mobile quarterbacks. Like somebody that's like, it's just that's bad from the top to the bottom. And I'm not absolving Justin of his poor play. I just think he's from this whole time since drafted, like every other of his predecessors, the quarterbacks of the Bears, the past, outside of like Rex Grossman, have been put in a position to fail. And they're like, oh, if you don't hulk up and you're not fucking Joe Burrow or Josh Allen in year 3, you suck, and we're just going to get another quarterback. And if he's not that, then we'll just do it again, and we're just going to do it again. It's like I want to get out of that loop, and I think, but you're right. It's like Poles' job is tied to who this next year's quarterback play. So maybe he's got his mind made up. I don't think he has his mind made up because, like you said, there's going to be some crazy offers for that number 1 pick. There's going to be, I think, the Raiders are going to make a huge offer at it. I think Atlanta might. Um, and who else was
Atlanta's
I
at
thinking?
11 right now, though.
Oh wow, they're 11. Well, again,
Yeah.
we traded that far back this time. It's like if the deal's right and we get a player like DJ Moore, or you know what I mean, like we don't necessarily need to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I and we're gonna do this 100 times, and I can't wait for the off season so we can keep doing this. But I want a Max Crosby and 3 first kind of deal from the Raiders, or I would be interested in like Kyle Pitts in 3 or 4 first, and I'd fall. But you know what I mean, something like that. I know him and Justin are friends. I think he's a similar talent to Marvin Harrison Jr. Um, and I just think he's mishandled and misused there. Or something like I said, some similar to that. But I think there are going to be some crazy offers. I think Arizona's not going to trade up. Patriots don't move like that. But who knows if Bill leaves, maybe their next GM might trade up to from 2 to 1, and then we could, you know what I mean. But I don't think the Patriots will. Um, the Arizona's are sitting pretty. They're going to get who they want. I mean, they're realistically they want Marvin Harrison Jr. and they're going to get him at 3. They don't have to
Yeah.
do anything. I don't know who's 4 right now. I'd have to look.
New York. Or
New
no,
York.
it's not New York. It's not New York. It's Washington.
Washington. Maybe they want to move up. It depends. They're getting a new coach. Magic Johnson just bought the team. Maybe they'll be interested in doing. But they don't. They got Terry McLaurin. He's got history with Justin. Maybe he'd want to. Like I don't know. Oh shit! They scored again.
I don't think
Um.
another team's going to follow in the Carolina blueprint and trade their number 1 wide receiver to draft a franchise
Yeah,
quarterback
but
because
maybe it's somebody else like the Jonathan Allen. Or like I said, in my head, I've been seeing like I think Max Crosby or what are the Raiders like 7 or something or 8.
there's 6 right now.
Yeah. So like Max Crosby, the same deal, insert Max Crosby. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more because Caleb's better than obviously Bryce Young was going to be. I think something like that is what, like you were saying, 3 to 5 years, set us up for the future. And the Bears need to stop banking our future on a quarterback. We did it with Mitch, and it didn't pan out, and we didn't surround him. I don't know. They kind of did. Mitch just wasn't good. And I feel comfortable saying that because he had a competent roster for like 3 years, 2 to 3 years, and they made a nice little run. And I won't say in spite of him, he had his good games every now and then, but he was pretty mediocre. We just had a really good defense that was shutting shit down. They were also scoring points, and the run game was going. Jordan Howard was doing his thing, and we just
Mitch
had a
also
really good
has a
year.
6 touchdown game. How many
Yeah,
6 touchdown games does Justin Fields have?
I don't know, but you still think Houston's going to make the playoffs? I can't
Yes,
believe they won that game.
100%.
But doesn't that mean like is it fucking CJ Stroud then, or is it they just got? And it's I don't it's not I won't necessarily I won't just say coaching. I think it's culture. Like the coaches and the staff in that building like have set the precedent that we're gonna win these games. We
Oh,
can win these games.
it's definitely CJ Stroud as well. I mean, even Tyson Bagent won a couple of games. So your backup should be able to come in and run an offense, maybe not as high level as
Oh,
a
they blocked
CJ
the punt.
Stroud would be, but CJ Stroud is still.
I mean, I think he's good. I won't. I don't know if he's a superstar. He had a good year. He's having a good year. Um,
Well, we always have to kind of throw caution to the wind a little bit because you take a look at Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was the number one overall pick. He had a couple of good years, and now they're 3-10.
you know,
I mean, granted, he's coming back from 20
but
ACL, and
he gets hurt
they
every
look
year.
better. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's kind of the caveat, right? That's kind of the what if scenario where the Arizona Cardinals they had what they drafted Josh Rosen, what, 10th or 11th.
Second, I thought, or third. I thought it was
No,
high. It was 10th.
yeah, it was
Maybe
10th
he
or
was just
11th.
yeah. I don't know.
And
Yes, but they
then
got rid of him right away. I remember that.
yeah, it was like 2 years, and then they got the number one overall pick, and they traded them to Miami, and they took Kyler Murray, and they're kind of stuck in a
That
situation now.
and this is what I'm saying. Like
But
that's
also the opposite end of that is you take a look at what's going on with the Giants and Daniel Jones. I'm not comparing Justin Fields to Daniel Jones, but what I'm saying is that they paid Daniel Jones all this money because they didn't have another option,
yeah.
and he's a mediocre quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The same could be said about Justin Fields. He's playing mediocre
No,
football.
that I agree. But what the difference is the Bears won't not have another option. The Bears, if they trade this first round pick, will have somebody else's first round pick plus our own first round pick next year. Plus, what you know what I mean? Like you're right. I don't want to get put in that situation either. That Justin Fields is mediocre as fuck next year, and we didn't draft anybody to replace him. We don't have like the Giants. You know what I mean? The Giants like made the playoffs but lost in the wild card, and they were a bit, you know what I mean, kind of stuck getting Justin. You're right. I don't want to get kind of put in that scenario, but I think you draft somebody. I think this is a deep quarterback year. You draft somebody in the third round. Um, Justin's still he's got his final year. He can't really pout because he hasn't done anything worthy of having his option picked up or being re-signed yet. I don't think he's that type of diva who would, you know what I mean. Some of these guys, you know what I mean. Justin Herbert had done a lot of things where he's like, y'all got to pay me before I, you know what I mean, blow my knee out. Um, and you go from there. And like you were saying with Kyler, it's like he got hurt. It's like let's quarterbacks, number one quarterbacks already have a high bust rate. We'll take injury out of it. A lot of them just suck. Then they could get like Joe Burrow. He's only played half his years. He's like he missed almost his entire rookie year. Missed like what 9 or 10 of the games his rookie year. He missed. He was hurt to start the year. Missed the first game or first and second game or some shit. Now he's out again for a whole nother year. Again, Joe Burrow is amazing. I'm not saying Joe Burrow. It's just like um, you can't.
All
I
right,
don't
so
can't roll the dice on just having your quarterback. Like, let's say we
scenario,
get Caleb and he blows his fucking arm out. We're Tyson Bagent the whole time. Like,
scenario. The Chargers call you up. You're Ryan Poles, and they say we are in cap hell. We need to completely overhaul everything that we're doing. We got a new coach and everything. We want the number one overall pick. In return, we're going to give you Justin Herbert. Obviously, you're going to have more for, the Bears are going to have to give up a little bit more than just, first overall pick. But they say round one, pick one for Justin Herbert. Are you taking that?
I'd probably say yes. If it's more than that, then
I
no.
cannot even believe you hesitated.
Well, because
I
you said it would be more than the number one pick.
yeah, you're probably gonna have to give up more.
Then I don't know. It depends what that more was. Is it a third? Is it another first? Then probably not. No.
Oh, in a
Um,
heartbeat. In a
no. I
heartbeat.
mean, Justin Herbert is, but he like fold. I don't know. I mean, he's really good. But he doesn't have a successful career either, and he plays on a super team.
In a heartbeat, I'm making that trade because I
I don't
still
know.
have my
He
first.
just plays on a super team and they don't win. He plays on a team with crazy talent and they don't win on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but we've
I
already
mean,
established that wins aren't a quarterback stat.
what I'm just saying is like what I'm saying is like if he can't win with them, what the hell is he gonna come do here? We're gonna give up all that stuff just to have the same situation we're in, a guy who can't win, but he's good.
Well, we're gonna have a new coaching staff by then.
I guess all this, like I said, it plays out how the coaching staff is. If we get some new guy who, like I said, Ben Johnson, who wants a pocket quarterback, then obviously maybe we'll go with something like that. I personally think Jim Harbaugh prefers guys like Justin Fields.
Here's the thing: I don't think Ben Johnson is one of those guys that is like I have to have a pocket quarterback, or
Well,
I,
I don't
you
know
know
if
what
he
I'm
is.
saying?
I'm saying like whoever
Because
the guy
well, here's the
is,
thing: they drafted Hendon Hooker.
yeah,
Hendon Hooker is not a
traditional.
pocket passer.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, again, I'm not like I just don't. I think if we did get Ben Johnson, he would want somebody new. Because like Poles, he's kind of staking his job on that guy. So at least if you hit your wagon to rookie, you get a couple years. The coach would. I don't know. Like Pole, I don't think Poles would. Even if we hire new coaches, I think if Caleb is a bust, I think he's fucked. Um, and I just think top quarterback's a high bust rate in general, not just the number one pick, number two, three, four, all those guys. Like I think it's quarterback is situational. It always is. Patrick Mahomes is the pick 11, and honestly, he wasn't even on people's radar like that. If Andy Reid doesn't trade up, what is he getting taken 20th? You know what I mean?
No, whoever was picking after Kansas City was gonna
Well,
take Patrick
well, I know.
Mahomes.
Remember the Bears came. The Bears came out. Well, the report came out that the Bears told that his dad. But like, I remember that draft. I don't remember them saying anything about Patrick Mahomes for the Bears. And like, I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm not. I don't have an insider in the thing, but like, would you just same as you when offseason rolling around. I am on top of everything the Bears are doing, and I never heard a peep of Patrick Mahomes.
No, I
Um,
heard Deshaun Watson and Mitchell
Deshaun Watson and
Trubisky.
Mitch, and then like yeah, like a week before they were like 2 weeks before they're like, oh, this Mitchell Trubisky kid.
Yeah,
Um,
it was like the Zach Wilson shit. You know what I'm saying? He had a he
yeah,
had a decent showing at the combine and he made a couple of good throws on his pro day. But I man, it's so far away, but it's not so far away.
no,
You know what I'm saying? Right now we're in a tough spot because we have talent on this roster. Obviously, there's some holes that still need to be filled. We talked about them a little bit, and it's frustrating right now. It's sad that the city of Chicago has to rely on the Chicago Bulls right now, who are playing pretty damn good
oh my
basketball
God, they're playing great. They're
to
playing amazing.
be, you know what I'm saying, to give us a little bit of hope in terms of winning, sports teams in this town. Because the Cubs still haven't done anything. The White Sox are radio silent as always.
They're didn't yeah. Jerry's meeting with Nashville, so like
Yeah, the Blackhawks aren't doing anything, which nobody expected the
yeah. They're
Blackhawks
I
to
mean
do.
Bernard's playing good though. He
You know
looks
what I'm
like the
saying?
guy though. He
Yeah,
looks like a next
Connor
superstar in the
looks
league.
good. But yeah, I mean the Bulls, man. Zach Levine, if he steps foot on that court, if I'm Billy Donovan, I am breaking his foot. Like there is no chance in hell you are stepping foot on this court because he's a ball stopper. The ball stops with Zach Levine, and they're playing great transitional basketball. They're
Yes,
playing great. The ball moves
yes.
constantly,
Kobe's
and
yeah,
everybody's eating.
yeah.
Everybody's eating. Kobe
Pat Will
White's
looks a
eating.
lot better ever
Pat
since the
Will
beam
looks a
was out.
lot better.
Like I said, I gripe on Pat Will a lot. I mean, I don't, yeah, like, I don't think he deserves a good contract or anything like that. But he has been a serviceable starter caliber player in the NBA as since Zach Levine's been out. He's been dropping, 10 to 15 points, getting 5 or 6 rebounds, and playing quality defense. That's what they need from them. And I think everybody's kind of fallen into their role. I think the Bulls organization in general, I don't know, maybe they owe Kobe apology, but on him, or maybe he just finally developed into that player. But he has just been playing amazing. Like,
Yeah, well, I told you, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I
yeah,
said, watch out for Kobe White. And you said maybe it's a little bit of the Laurie Markkinen treatment. Now, I think it's a little different because Laurie has nobody else on the Utah Jazz.
yeah,
There's nobody else. At least Kobe knows his role, right? He's
yeah,
not
and
the
he's
number
still
one option.
dominating his and do yeah,
Yeah, and he's playing fantastic. If anything, he's the third option on that team, but he's the shooter. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like he's the 3 point guy. You have Vujicic, who's the pick and roll guy, and can make that 15-foot jump shot, and he can also hit a three every now and then. DeMar DeRozan's that mid range guy. Kobe White's that I'm going to get to the basket on a drive or I'm going to shoot a three. There is no in between with Kobe White.
yes. And
And
he
right,
plays fast, and
yes,
like that is the new age NBA. Levine wants the ISO, and it's like DeMar already does that.
he's not good enough for that.
Yes, he's not, and it's like we
Zach does
need you to
not create
shoot.
his own shot.
Yes, you need to run and gun, and I think Kobe does that very well. He gets, you know what I mean. He doesn't hold the ball too long. He gets it, you know what I mean. If it, like you said, if it's not there, it gets off the ball, moves around. The Bulls in general
Ayo
just
Sumu looks better.
yes,
Alex Caruso's
Caruso,
been
yeah.
playing a lot
They
better.
play and they all play like and Levine don't play no defense. And it's like I
No.
love the Bulls. I'm a big Kings fan. He's talking about he want to go to the Kings. The Kings aren't gonna take him. They don't need somebody to play defense. They already got a
Yeah.
bunch of guys
Plus
who can score.
who is
Not
who's Sacramento gonna trade? You know what
off
I'm
the
saying?
top of
Like,
my head, I'm guessing it would be so contracts would line up Davion Mitchell and like Harrison Barnes and like some picks. And like I said, is that even enough? Like it's same with like what are the Lakers going to offer the Bulls? Rui Hachimura and fucking D'Angelo Russell. They already said they're not coming off Reeves. I don't even know how they could afford it. Doesn't Levine get the max?
yeah,
LeBron and AD got the max. Reeves has got a big contract. It's like so I don't. The Lakers aren't in. Like I don't think it works without them giving up Reeves. And like Reeves is better than Levine. I don't know. I
yeah.
think like I won't say that Reeves, I guess, is
Reeves
a
is the
better
better.
all around basketball player, and he plays a role.
Yeah,
Levine will not. The only role Levine wants to play is I get the ball every play,
and
and it's
that ain't
like
gonna happen in
exactly you're not
in
that
Philly.
good, and it's like so I don't know where there's go. Maybe Philly. Philly just got all that shit for Hart from Harden. They can, you know what I mean. Maybe the Bulls get a couple role players and all those picks, maybe. But like I like Levine. They said Levine's camp came out and said that he was interested in a Lakers or Kings trade. And it's like
Well,
that ain't shit.
with the way the team's playing right now, all you need is expiring money, right? That's all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Because they're
Well,
playing
you
good
still got to
basketball
get
right
the
now.
picks too. You don't want to give them
Role
up for
players.
nothing.
You have get some expiring money and some draft capital. I
Yeah.
don't care where that draft capital is, but get some draft capital and get some expiring contracts
I would
because
call like I don't know, maybe like I would say like the Warriors if they were interested. But that would probably end up with the Bulls getting Chris Paul, but maybe it'll be like a three-way or something.
yeah,
Um,
because you can always there's easy maneuvering.
But like get like Moody or Kaminga or somebody. That's what I would be if I was the Bulls. Get a couple, you know what I mean? You probably only get draft picks in the future and then maybe somebody like Kaminga, like a old top 10 draft or like a top 10 draft pick who kind of hasn't reached his potential of that. Maybe you can. Because like I said, Pat Will has definitely taken a step. Kobe White, 2 or 3 steps. He looks amazing out there. I mean, he was having a quality year as a six man too. He was playing, he was
Yeah.
coming in, knocking the shots down, doing his thing, but he's taking his game to a whole nother level. And it's really good to see.
Has he scored less than 20 since Levine's been out?
I don't think so. No, I mean I think he
Remember
had
a
22
box
tonight.
score. Yeah, I can't remember
But
seeing a
he's
box
really
score.
getting like 22, 6 and 6. Like he's in like minimal turnovers, knocking down 4 or 5 threes a night. Like he is like just what the Bulls needed, and they had him the whole time.
Yeah, he's completely rejuvenated his career, and they signed him to an extension in the offseason. So
Yeah,
it was like a 3 year extension, and he's coming cheap. It's not
yeah.
like he's one of these top paid guys. He's
Is
relatively
Lonzo coming
affordable.
back next year, or is he
Is
just
what?
done? Is
No,
Lonzo coming back?
Lonzo's done, dude. Lonzo's done. I still don't.
That's rough.
God, because yeah, I mean Kobe would be a good a good combo guard, and
Yeah,
then if you had a healthy Lonzo,
maybe like Toronto. Maybe I know they're trying to trade OG and Siakam, but I think they want young players and capital, and probably not Levine. I don't know. They might want a superstar though. OG Anunoby, I think, would fit very well on the Bulls. I think Siakam as well too. He'd probably take all of Pat Will's minutes, but But we'll see. You're right. I don't think they should let Levine back on the court. He pouted all year. He complained. He doesn't play defense. He's not a playmaker. It's like he's just not a quality. Like I don't want to. It's like I don't know how to phrase it. Like he's a talented basketball player, but he doesn't play good basketball.
He's a losing he's a
Yes,
loser.
yes, he
That
does.
that's what
Yeah,
he is. He's a loser. He has talent. He can score, but he's not a winning basketball player.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you take a look at throughout his career, he's just been a loser, 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 loser. And I mean, it is what it is. But they're playing good basketball right now. Hopefully, that trend continues going forward. Christmas Eve football game coming up, Bears Cardinals. Before we go, give me your final score predictions for this game here on Sunday.
I'll say Bears 30, Cardinals 20. I think we're gonna beat them. I think, unlike you, I still think, or at
So
least they all think they're auditioning. I mean, some people still are. Like I said before weeks ago, I just think the Packers game is really the indicator. I think he needs to finish the year stronger than we started off. I think the starting the Packers game really just put a snowball into our season. I think it took all the steam we built in the offseason and losing to the Packers like we did opening night.
so
Uh,
then so then as a fan, do you want them to still win or do you want them to lose to improve your own draft positioning?
I want them to win. But that's because, like you said, deep, like in the pit of my stomach, I feel Justin is on his way out the door, and I think him winning in an impressive fashion really is the only thing that could save his job. Um, so that sense, yeah, we could use, but we already got like the number one pick locked in, and if draft capital is what we want, he's gonna be able to trade that for like what did we get three what pick 11 what two more first, right?
We get no. So the are you talking about the
DJ Moore
Carolina
trade.
trade?
Yeah.
All right, so we got DJ Moore, pick 9, next year's first, which is the number one overall pick, and then a 2024 second.
Yeah. Didn't we get another second two in there somewhere?
No,
Did we get 2 seconds?
no, just
Um, so I think we'll get double that for Caleb Williams, at least like 1.5 of that. I think we'll get either another all pro, or not all, maybe not all pro, but like a Pro Bowlish player. I mean, DJ Moore
you
wasn't
got to
all pro.
think three. You got to think the starting is three firsts and a player,
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like if that's who we if
depending on draft positioning. Because if New England trades
oh
up
yeah,
from
absolutely not.
2 to 1,
No,
obviously they're
we're
not going
probably
to get.
just gonna get like a second or something,
I
or
would
like
know. Fuck that. I'd go for next year's first.
next
Give me
year's
pick
first.
2 and next year's first. You can have.
But isn't like a second this year like the same value as the next year's first?
But here's the thing, though. For me, it wouldn't matter
I
because
guess
I
you're
would.
right because we're trying to set up for that's what I'm saying is uh to close it out like what I've been saying. I'm fine with setting a contingency plan for Justin. I just like we're in a rebuild. I think the Bears need to stop pull. I mean, we kind of let Mitch play his out, but like stop pulling the ripcord so fast. Let's let it play out. He's got another year where he's cheap. He'll make no money. And you draft somebody, you like you said, make sure whatever the deal is, we're getting the next person next year and the year after that, and we're set up to get like every 2 years some new guys coming out of the draft. Especially in this day and age, when we were kids growing up, yeah, it was every 5 years, every 10 years, a generational quarterback comes out. And in this day and age, in 2 years, you know what I mean, Archie Manning, like you don't even know who the guy is yet, but like every year or two,
Hey,
there's
you know what? If Shadir Sanders doesn't declare this year, he'll be eligible next year. Maybe they
that's what
go
I'm
after
saying.
him.
Like, who knows who the quarterback's going to be next year, the year after that, and I just like I said, Caleb isn't giving me generational vibes. I think he kind of got that tag when he came in and won that game in Oklahoma when he was a freshman. And then he won the Heisman, and he's just riding that wave. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't watch every USC game, but I watch the big ones against Utah, against Washington, and it's like when I watch that game, I don't see generational talent. Like when I was watching Trevor Lawrence play, you were like, holy fuck. And like same with there's just a lot Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Like the way Joe Burrow won the Heisman, the way Caleb won the Heisman is just completely different. Joe Burrow like dominated college football and won the Heisman, and it's like dominated the SEC and won the Heisman. It's like I don't see that in Caleb, and I'm sure he's got all the tools, but them saying he's Patrick Mahomes, I definitely don't see it.
No, I don't see it
Um,
either.
all right, hopefully the Bears. I don't know. Like I said, hopefully I'm one of them to win. Somebody's rooting for to lose. I guess in the long run, it's probably better if they lose because the better draft capital we have, the better we do. But I just think our problem is culture, so we need to stop losing. I think we lost for so many years that like it's built into us, into Justin, into these guys. Where they're like, that's what we do. We're the Bears. We lose, and it's like we need that beaten out of us where we're not like that's not what we do anymore. Like we're gonna win and we're gonna close these games out. But all right, he's tuned in this whole time. Like, follow, subscribe. Please comment. Like I said, help us with engagement. Help us blow this channel up. We're trying to get to like 10K. We'll start with 5K. I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll go
Yeah,
5K
let's
subs.
go 5K.
Yeah. All right.
Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok. I do have TikTok Angry Bears fan.
I'll put it in the comment or in
Obviously,
the description anyway. Yeah. On Twitter too. I changed my tag to Angry Bears fan.
did you? All right.
Yeah. But all right. It's nice seeing you, buddy. Everybody, like I said, like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Adios.
Later.